Recently I was watching a video by Ray Mears where he cooked using a pot over a very interesting fire, and I'm going to do that today. But the pot that he was using is one of these zebra pots, and I was pretty intrigued by it. Apparently I'm very late to the party because everybody has one of these. They make three models. They make a 10 centimeter, a 12 centimeter, and a 14 centimeter model, and I've seen the 10 centimeter in person, but apparently they're very hard to get. I was only able to find the 12 and the 14 centimeter. I got these from Amazon.com. They're imported by Grand Trunk, I think, so you'll see the name Grand Trunk and you'll wonder if it's the same pot, and it is. These are stainless steel constructed, and they've got a nice little loop here for suspending over a fire. They come with these two little plastic latches on there so that your lid and everything stays together when the handle is up. When you drop the handle, they come to the side and you can take the lid off. You've got just basically a regular lid, and then on the inside is this extra little cup that you can use either as a soup cup, or you can use it for a frying pan or all sorts of other things, or you can use it as a double boiler. And I've been kind of experimenting with this in the laboratory, and I've been tuning recipes for it. One of them is a chicken noodle soup. It's a little spicy, and I'll make that today. I've also come up with a chicken and dumplings recipe that I'll get around to showing sometime, and then a spaghetti and meat sauce recipe that, again, I'll get around to showing someday. So I've cooked with this indoors, but I have not cooked with it outside over a fire. And to cook with it over a fire, most people are recommending that you take off those plastic tabs, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. You can save them and you can put them back on if you want to, but I'm just going to take mine off because I know they would melt on me. Now when you do that, it's not going to have quite the snug fit that it did before, and it's not going to hold your lid on super tight, and to me that's not a problem. If anything, one thing I worry about is when this is latched down and you have the handle up and you're cooking on the stove, hardly any steam comes out. So I worry that you're actually kind of making a pressure cooker type atmosphere in there. Now as far as this pot for backpacking use, it's fairly heavy relative to some of my other options. As is straight out of the box, the 12 centimeter zebra pot weighs in at 1 pound 3 1/4 ounces. If you leave the inner cup at home, 15 3/8 ounces. The pot that I've brought most often on kind of deep wilderness trips is a MSR Titan. One thing I wish that had was the ability to attach some baling wire to the outsides of it to make it easier to suspend over a fire. This pot is fairly heavy, but you get some functionality that you don't get in other pots. If you just had a regular billy can, of course it's going to be real light and things, but it's not going to be quite as durable as a nice stainless steel pot. Also, you have a lid, which is very nice for a lot of different reasons. It keeps heat inside the pot, so you can boil faster. Also, if you get some of your meal done in here and want to keep it warm and then finish the rest of it in your little fry pan here, you have that option. Additionally, it's got a cool factor. It's just a neat little pot, and they're not very expensive, and the space taken up by this pot isn't necessarily wasted space. You can pack this sucker with all sorts of stuff, and the space isn't so much of an issue. So I'm going to add 2 cups of water, and we're going to go outside. So in my pot here I've got 2 cups of water, and This side has like some dried veggies and mushrooms and some spices in there. I'm going to go ahead and dump that in the water. This is a Swedish fire torch, or Ray Mears called it a Finnish fire torch, and it's burning a little bit more vigorously now because I've just kind of stoked up the inside of it because I want to boil this water. So the idea here is that the insides of these logs are on fire. I did put some fresh kindling on the bottom to kind of stoke this up a little bit, but the insides of the log are on fire, and that's how I'm heating my water here. It shouldn't take too long at all to boil this. We're boiling. We've been boiling for a little bit now. I'm gonna take this off for just a second, and if you let it boil for a little bit, those veggies rehydrate a little better. And now I'm just going to put the noodles in and put her back on for just a minute. Ray Mears says that the best kind of wood for this is pine, and I'd have to agree with him. This is the first one of these that I've built, and I didn't use pine because I didn't have any. I used kind of whatever was in the the wood pile. And it worked, but I think it'd work a lot better with pine. And if you want to pour out of this, you might be tempted to lift up the handle and then grab there. Well, that's going to be hot. You just took it off the fire. So the way to do it is to take it off at an angle like this and kind of spoon and pour like that.